Hi everyone, welcome back. So this video is not a video on how to use chainsaw. This video will be more on the topic which chainsaw do I use for our woodturning needs. So anything from small logs, bigger logs, even falling down timbers. So you can see here which one is in the box, brand new, but we'll get to that. So this chainsaw here is a still MS250. This is 45cc engine and 3 horsepower, and it's a really good saw. It's, I believe, sort of a hobby chainsaw, so it's not even semi-professional or full-on professional. However, this one cut so many logs, so many trees down, and it's really good saw. Now this saw was at the service shop, but I just pulled it out because for complete service and to fix it, because it doesn't want to start properly and doesn't hold the throttle properly. A little less than 200 euros, so that can wait. Although something counterintuitive that I've done is I went out and bought a new one. Now what I'll do, I'll fix this one, but I'll wait for some little bit bigger job, and then I'll cover the cost for this saw, and then I'll have 2 saws, one as a backup, and that should work really well. Now the backup saw for this one currently is really lousy one. It's some sort of a cheap Chinese copy, and that really doesn't work all that well. It's really low on power, low on torque, low on speed, pretty much terrible. So my only advice would be to go for premium brands like Husqvarna, Steel, or Echo, or maybe some other that I'm not aware of, but you actually get what you paid for in terms of chainsaws like this. Now this saw here I got from my late uncle, and it's really has a lot of sentimental value, and again, it cut so many ball blanks, platter blanks, everything, so many pieces, logs, fall down trees. It's excellent saw, although it's like I said, hobby sort of version, but it works excellent, and it's a great saw. So I will fix it, like I said, and have it as a backup, or it will be the main saw. Depends on how this one will work. To be clear, I'm not sponsored by Husqvarna or Steel, so I don't have any connections with them, although it would be nice to be sponsored by them. However, I paid for this saw with my own money, or at least it will be paid off in 2 years. So this saw cost 620 euros, and I think it's a good investment, especially to have like 2 saws as a backup. So whenever I got the call to go and see a log, for instance, one of the last ones that I was visiting was a cherry log, and my steel was already acting up a little bit. So it's nice to have a backup saw, nice and up and running. So you'll always have the means to process when you have the opportunity to get the log. So this saw, and we'll get to saw itself. Now, whenever I have the opportunity to buy a separate chain, I will do that as a backup as well. So this one is X-Cut. I think, as far as I've read, this one is actually quite good, this X-Cut series for the Husqvarna. Now, you might be wondering why I haven't bought Steel a chainsaw, and now I've watched videos and so on, did my research, and I think these are really, side by side, pretty much the same. Now this one was slightly cheaper than the equivalent MS251, but this one has a slightly more power, let's say, and so I just decided to try out Husqvarna, and who knows, then maybe that will be my go-to brand from now on. So separate chain. Now, this one is a little counterintuitive, because you probably know by now sharpen freehand. I don't use jigs, but let me just tell you this. For years I sharpened using just file without any jigs or anything, and I was actually quite good at it. And now a friend of mine, logger, showed me this. So this is still sharpening jig, let's say, and it's a cheaper one. You have the bigger, newer version as well. Now again, I was quite good at using just a file to sharpen the chain. Great results and everything. However, once I tried his version, and it was just a step above. So especially when you have to clean the rake teeth, this works really well. And I really wanted to try from Husqvarna as well, so I just bought it, and I'll see how it works. Now, if you're trying to convince me that maybe jigs for our woodturning tools works better than freehand, please don't. I really like how I sharpened freehand, so I really enjoy that for our turning tools. And but jigs are obviously part of our lives, and I really like using this one. Again, just wanted to test out this for myself, see if it's any better or easier to use, or just getting better results altogether. And the chain that comes with the saw, and this is the blade itself. So you can see Husqvarna, and I believe the cutting capacity or the length is 380 mil. The saw itself, so just get it out. So the saw I bought that I went for is Husqvarna 450 X-Torque. It's a Mark II. It doesn't say here Mark II, quite interesting, but it says here on the plaque here 450 Mark II. Now it's a 3.2 horsepower with a 50 cc engine, so a little bit over my MS250. Now the MS251, which is a newer version, I believe, it's again just maybe smidge less than this one. So I just went for this, and I mean, everything is, it's a Husqvarna, and everything is nicely made. And now what I like is their new system. Not sure how it will hold up. It's still a screw-on lid cover. It's not like on the still, but it's much better to have this implemented knob, let's say, instead of like using this pulley here, or a wrench, or I don't know, screwdriver or anything. Now I can take off the cover. I just unscrew the nut here, and now oddly enough, this is a metal. Now this is again more of equivalent of hobby chainsaw than like semi-pro or full-on professional saw, but on my still it's a plastic, so I believe good improvement. So I just assembled the blade and the chain. Now this is maybe something to sort of get used to. You have to thread the chain behind the clutch here, where on the still it's in front. So, and with this one, I think you have to put the, you have to put the lid back on to tension the chain. So you cannot do it, as far as I see here, you cannot do it without the cover. So that's a little bit difference. So I can get the cover on. There we go. Just tighten this by hand lightly. The chain is way too loose, obviously, and just tighten it up. So the chain is on, for now at least. I feel it's quite good settings. So now we can see it in full all of its glory. So quite nice looking saw. Everything feels nicely built, which is quite good. And now you can see it here from this side as well. So pulling rope here, underneath here is a air filter. The mixture here goes, the oil gets here, and this is something to sort of get used to, I guess. So choke, and this is how you stop it. Now this isn't an like saw review or anything like that, but sort of just to guide you through the features. And here is a see-through reservoir, so not sure how that will be visible or not. Yeah, so I guess it's just to fill it up and try it out. You saw the saw worked really beautifully. It's really nice, and I mean, it cut through. I mean, the chain is brand new, so it has to cut like butter. So, and it did. Now I did have a little issue on my part, my mistake, when I first started. I pulled the throttle immediately, so it bogged down a few times. What I should have done is just let it like 20 seconds to warm up a little bit, and then press the throttle as I've done on the last attempt, and that worked really beautifully. After that, one pull with the cord, and once it's warmed and fired up immediately and ready to be used. So again, this is not a tutorial on how to use chainsaw. This is what I use, and again, this one is 3.2 horsepower, this one is 3, 45 and 50 cc engine. And again, there are more powerful saws, and if you can get those, I mean, by all means go for it. I find this kind of saw really light to use when I'm in the yard or on somebody else's, I don't know, backyard, cutting log and stuff like that. Heavy saws can be really hard on your hands, especially if you're doing a long day. So these kind of saws are great for those kind of jobs. Now, obviously, if I have access to really big logs, I would opt for a bigger chainsaw with a longer bar. However, with this one, I did cut up over 1 meter diameter ash log. It was a strategic cut how to do it, but you can do it and it's manageable if this is only thing that you have. So again, quite pleased with this one. Can't wait to put it through real paces. Have 2 shorter pieces of walnut logs and 2 or 3, even 4 actually, cherry logs. So should be quite fun to test it out. So, and I need to cut down 1 plum tree, so that will be hopefully in the next month, and maybe I'll do a video on it, so we'll see about that. So this video isn't turning video, but hopefully this will help you out deciding on which chainsaw to go. Anything beyond this one, I mean, it's great. This one, again, it's 3.2 horsepower, and everything above that, it's just beneficial. So this is the minimum that I would go to process logs, and again, this works really beautifully, and it's not that expensive. So hope you like this video, and see you in the next one.